What's up, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. Last week on Dynamite, this was one of the biggest pipe bomb segments since Punk's from July 2011. MJF went off on Tony Khan in AEW. He bitched about everything he could, and quite frankly, what he said was absolutely true. And he used the F word in this promo, which probably got him in a lot of heat because of TNT, TBS, and Time Warner. But he said, you bring in ex-WWE people, you pay them a lot more money. And MJF said, I've been there since day one. What have you given me? And realistically, just the ring. That's all he's had. This pipe bomb was epic. It was a classic. I've always said MJF is great on the mic. And this is one of the reasons why Vince McMahon would love to pull him away from AEW next year. Well, actually in 2024 is when his contract runs out. And MJF's going to play some games with Tony Khan, hoping he gets fired. But Tony Khan may just be stubborn and say, hey, look, I got you until 2024, so I got you by the balls, basically. So, great pipe bomb by MJF. And what a horrific week, really, we learned last week and early this week about wrestlers getting injured. We know Samoa Joe's got a concussion. He's gone again. For how long, we're not sure. Daniel Bryan had a slight foot injury. Now he's out for a few weeks due to, I believe, a concussion. Adam Cole tore his calf muscle. Who knows how long he's going to be out for? It could be. It's probably a number of months. I mean, geez, CM Punk injures his foot by leaping into the fans on a match on Dynamite last week with FTR, which after winning the title at Double or Nothing that previous Sunday, I really saw no reason for Punk even to wrestle on Wednesday night, which I thought was foolish. He's not a real young guy no more, and yes, they're vested in him. He's a big draw for AEW, and quite frankly, he's probably one of the biggest stars in AEW as far as being a fan favorite. But to me, he should have just came out and addressed his AEW World Heavyweight Championship victory. And the one thing that did bother me about CM Punk was he was on Dynamite and Rampage on Friday addressing the injuries, but not once on either segment that he was on AEW TV did he mention Hangman Adam Page. To me, that was disrespectful, but that's just my opinion. And then one of the biggest injuries that could happen, and if you watched Hell in the Cell on Sunday night, when Cody Rhodes came out to face Seth Rollins in the cage, when he took his robe off, he has a pectoral muscle tear, which literally his whole area there and his arm was literally purple. That was, I've never seen a wrestler bruise like that in my whole life. And it just was, I was shocked. And because to be quite honest with you, that card wasn't all that strong. You had the women open up. Rhodes and Rollins finished up with the Hell in the Cell match. Cody said he was not coaxed in to having that match, even though it was advised to him that he probably shouldn't. But Cody did say afterwards, there's nobody more I trust in the WWE than Seth Rollins. He said he's professional. He knew what he had to do not to further this injury any more than what it was. It was a great match. You got to give a lot of respect to Cody Rhodes. You got to give a lot of respect to Seth Rollins, because Seth, for the third time in a row, lost to Cody Rhodes, and it was phenomenal. And, I feel badly for Cody, because he's going to probably be out at least 6 months. He comes back to the WWE. They were probably going to push him to get the WWE title away from Roman Reigns. And now, it's a big loss for Monday Night Raw, because Randy Orton's out. Now Cody Rhodes is out. You got the AJs and the Riddles. They're going to have to do something. And the Kevin Owens, they're going to have to do something to create a buzz. And I'm sure the WWE will, because Vince McMahon always figures out a way. But injuries. I mean, it's just amazing. All the injuries that have happened recently. Matt Cardona is out. He had to relinquish his digital championship. It's crazy. It really is crazy. The one thing, though, AEW is going to do, they're going to have an interim AEW World Champion, which I'm not keen on, because they've done it twice already. The TNT had an interim champion, and the Ring of Honor women's title had an interim champion. And now they got to do it with the AEW World title. But, I guess I get it. And, it would seem a lot bigger if they didn't have two other interim titles previously. But they're going to have a battle royale. And the winner of that's going to face Jon Moxley. And Moxley's going to end up facing someone at Forbidden Door. But I sort of look at it this way. It's, to me, if Moxley ends up getting the interim title, and when Punk comes back, he's got to face CM Punk. And I don't like that matchup for the simple facts. Moxley has been on a really huge run. And quite honestly, just much like Hangman Adam Page, to me, there was really should have been no way that Punk got the title away from Hangman. And if they have Moxley get beat by CM Punk, I don't know, man. I get it. It would be a big buzz. It would be a big budget match, obviously, Moxley and Punk. But we'll have to wait and see. And people are speculating, who's going to win that battle royale. I did read a bunch of the entrants. Now, Daniel Bryan originally was going to be in it. And, excuse me, I'm wondering, a lot of people are talking about maybe Chris Jericho gets it. And then you'd have a matchup with Moxley and Jericho, which would be interesting because they did feud before. But this whole last week and a half has just been fluttered with wrestlers getting hurt. And a lot of these injuries, are big. They're huge. And, to have Bryan out, Cole out, Punk out on one promotion, and Samoa Joe, it's, they got to figure a way. And, we'll see what Tony Khan does decide to do. But, what I would do in this case is, and also I should mention that Scorpio Sky's got an injury as well. And what else is going to happen? I will say this. AEW always seems to have injuries. Usually they're not as big, but having a calf muscle tear, that's big. That's big. A concussion's always big. And, and I go back to Cody Rhodes. That's heartbreaking. You got to give Cody a lot of respect, because one of the things he addressed the fans after Hell in the Cell was it was his idea to wrestle against, they didn't want him to, but he said, I can't let the fans down, because that was the main event. And honestly, if Cody didn't wrestle Seth Rollins, that card, like I said, was not stacked at all. I mean, Becky, Asuka, and Bianca Belair opened the show, and the rest were like filler matches. And even Baron Corbin got hurt. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. So hopefully everybody heals a lot quicker. A lot of these guys are in great shape, but still, there are certain injuries that just need time for them to mend. As we've seen with all the surgeries that Kenny Omega has gone through, Kenny Omega left after Full Gear when he lost to Hangman. I was hoping he'd make some sort of appearance, in AEW from time to time. But, I guess in a way, they're doing the right thing, keeping him away, because when he does come back, it's going to be huge. And hopefully Kenny comes back as a face. But I don't know. I just don't know. Injuries, plague every sport. And, but this just, the amount of big names that have gotten hurt in the last week and a half or so are just ridiculously insane. Anyway, there you have it. The Iceman on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy your week. Go Celtics. My nephew's Matt's birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Matt. We'll see you all next time.